Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while since I've released a video, and I promised you I'd be making a video on lectins and different lectins that affect different parts of the body. I am sorry it's taken me so long to get this out, but let's just jump on in. I do have my computer here with me with my talking points so I can make this video really efficient and not ramble. So we're gonna just jump on in. I wanted to just quickly explain what lectins are first, and then I'm gonna go into specific lectins that affect different parts of the body. A lot of this you guys might not be aware of. And depending on the health condition that you have, there are certain foods that contain lectins that you should be avoiding depending on that health condition. So we're gonna jump into it. Lectins are a type of protein. They bind to carbs and are found in both animal products and plants. Because of their ability to bind to carbs, they can be involved in many processes throughout the body, both inflammatory and anti-inflammatory processes. So not all lectins are inflammatory. Some actually help to lower inflammation. They also can bind to cells. So this is where it can become a problem if you have, say, an autoimmune disease and you're consuming lectins that are not good for you for that type of condition, and they're binding to, say, your kidneys or liver or skin cells, and your body could be attacking those cells and they're creating more and more inflammation. They also can bind to viruses, to target tissue, and so much more. Lectins can be quite inflammatory and toxic to our body, depending on the types that we're eating. There are a lot of positive benefits to lectins, so again, not all are bad. The ones we're going to touch on today are ones that are pretty commonly known to cause inflammation and therefore should be avoided depending on the condition that you have. Okay, different types of foods will contain different types of lectins. So there's like little symbols depending on the type of lectins you're consuming. Certain families of foods will contain lectins, which are proteins that bind to carbs, like I mentioned. Agglutination occurs, which is a clumping reaction that gets triggered when you consume lectins. So what we are going to be talking about today is the degree of agglutination depending on the type of lectin that you're eating. So which lectins cause agglutination to different parts of the body? Okay, so we're going to go into some information here. Now, if you want a full guide with charts that break down exactly which lectins affect which tissues and so much more information on this topic, head to holisticspring.org and you can get all of that information there. Download the ebook and the guides and all that for free and access that kind of amazing information. In my opinion, it's really helpful if you have autoimmune or certain health conditions. But let's go into it. We're going to touch on the main ones today. So first, I want to talk about skin cells or sweat glands. So what lectins are the most reacting for skin and sweat glands? Number one is wheat. Wheat germ agglutinins or agglutination. So wheat or wheat germ, typically because of the gluten. We also have soy, peanut, and what's the other one? And kidney beans. So wheat, soybean, peanuts, kidney beans. These four are the most inflammatory for the skin as far as lectins go. So if you have a skin condition, eczema, psoriasis, etc., and you are thinking to yourself, what are the most important lectin foods to avoid? It would be these. Now, I do want to put another note in here and say that there could be more foods that you should be avoiding depending on your sensitivities and things like that. So this isn't the all end all of what you should be cutting out. This is just the most triggering lectins for the skin based on how the agglutination occurs with these foods. I hope this makes sense. Okay, in terms of sinuses, the number one lectin to avoid that triggers the sinuses, that causes sinus inflammation and a lot of agglutination with the sinuses is, I'm assuming you guessed it, wheat or gluten. Wheat, again, when I have a client that comes to me and tells me they snore, they have postnasal drip, their sinuses are constantly running, something like that, I always first thing say cut out the wheat and the gluten. And I feel like I sound like a broken record when I say that, but it's so true. It's so important, and these foods really do create inflammation in certain parts of our body and therefore should be avoided. Now, another disclaimer, wheat falls into every category that I'm going to be talking about. So wheat is always one of those things that has to be cut out. It has the type of lectin that it has, the agglutination that occurs when you consume wheat affects all aspects of the body. Okay, as far as the blood and lymph goes, so if you are having some kind of swollen lymph nodes, lymphatic stagnation or congestion, something to do with the blood and lymph, what agglutinins do we want to be avoiding, or what lectins? Wheat, soy, peanut, and kidney beans. Those are the same ones that affected the skin, affect the blood and the lymph. Correction, not kidney beans. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong column. It's just wheat, soy, and peanuts. Wheat, soy, peanut, and kidney bean affect the colonic mucosa. So what is that? The mucosal lining in our gut. So by eating wheat, soy, peanuts, or kidney beans, you have that potential to create inflammation in the gut, and this can cause leaky gut, gut inflammation, things like that. All right, we're gonna go down to what else on this list? The thyroid. So what affects the thyroid? Wheat, soy, and peanuts. And then you also have kidney beans and potato. So if you have a thyroid condition, those are the ones you want to be avoiding, the potato and the kidney bean, along with the wheat and the soybean and the peanuts. These are just things I say avoid, and if you are to have them once in a while, and organic and all of that, digest them well. But when they release these lectins, the agglutination occurs, which is the clumping of cells, and inflammation starts to get produced and things like that. Let's talk about the kidneys. Again, the three most common ones are wheat, soy, and peanut for the kidneys. The ones that affect the pancreas the most is wheat, mushroom, and kidney beans. So mushroom is in there for the pancreas, which is really interesting because a lot of people consume mushrooms regularly and don't really realize that it actually is a lectin, it contains lectins, and could potentially cause some inflammation. All right, let's talk about the eyes and inner ears, because this is a huge one. The eyes and the inner ears are two areas where I see a lot of my clients having a hard time. And the biggest things that affect those are wheat, soybeans, peanuts, surprise, surprise, also kidney beans, and what else here? Let me just take a look. Kidney beans and gluten. The ones that trigger mast cells to activate, which is then how your body produces a lot of histamine, is wheat. Let's see, these things are wheat and kidney beans as well. So those are the biggest ones, the biggest triggers. There's so much more. This information that I got, it's actually came from a research article by Brostoff and Callahome. I don't know how to say that, but Bristoff and Callahome, I think, is the name, and they released this article going into all of this information. So if you head to the membership platform, you can download this. You can also get a lot more information on this topic. But like I said, agglutinins are a larger class of substances in food that can cause binding of proteins to carbs, which then creates a self-tissue antibody type of reaction, which can lead to chronic inflammation and tissue destruction, and cause these lectins to wreak havoc on the body. So I hope that this was helpful. I wanted to keep it really small and short. If you have any questions about this topic, comment them down below. But I hope you guys have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.